everybody heard Shedeur Sanders, first round pick, has the talent, all this stuff, drops to the fifth round. In your professional, experienced opinion, why do you think he fell so far?
I think he'll be the best quarterback out of this draft.
Best thing Shedeur does is that he's a character guy and a leader too, right?
You know, I work hard,
Yep.
and I love the game of football. That's all you really need to know. And, you know, I ain't disrespectful. I don't have off-the-field problems, so.
I told you that Shedeur Sanders was going to dominate the headlines, but it seems like he's already doing that even before real footballs are getting spun and even pads are put on. So today we're going to go through a few different media hits. Obviously, the classics over there at ESPN Cleveland. We got an NFL GM keeping up for Shedeur and saying that he's that guy. We got some other people around the world of media that's going to have some conversation. But I do want to remind you of a few things, and I also want to talk about the information that was released regarding the schedule. And you know, there's some conspiracy theories. Yeah, hey, the NBA ain't the only one with the conspiracy theories. The NFL is cooking too. So let's hop right in it too. So I want to remind you two things. This is December 29, 2024. Barstool Sports. Now this might seem like a regular tweet. This man just kept Shedeur from New York and altered the course of NFL history. Understand that this was in December. Even Barstool thought that Shedeur Sanders was a top 5 pick. Just so you know, the same people who had plenty of jokes to fly when he was falling. I just want to point it out. We're gonna have another video. I'm gonna collect all the receipts and get y'all up to date. But let's not delay anymore. I'm gonna end it off with, like I said, we're gonna get into the schedule because the Browns have no primetime games. So do the Titans have no primetime games, and the Saints. But it seems like late in the week, Cleveland versus Tennessee, potentially Cam versus let's get into the videos, man. Let's get into the videos. Like these videos if you like them, dislike if you don't like them, subscribe if you enjoy football content and updates of all shapes and sizes. What does an NFL GM have to say about Shedeur?
Long time you've evaluated some of the best and worst quarterbacks in the last 20, 30 years. So my question for you, you know where this is going. You know, before the draft, you know, everybody heard Shedeur Sanders, first round pick, has the talent, all this stuff, drops to the fifth round. In your professional, experienced opinion, why do you think he fell so far?
And what was your grade?
You know what?
And what was your grade on him too? I want to know that. What was your grade on him?
I gave him a first. I think he'll be the best quarterback out of this draft. When it's all said and done. When his career's said and done, he'll be the best quarterback taken in this draft. We did the same thing in Seattle with Russell Wilson. You know, everybody's like, he's too short. He's this back-to-back Super Bowls. Won one, lost one, but whatever. But, you know, I think, and I hate to say this because I don't know his father personally. I really don't. But I think the shit show to come with him from the standpoint of media, and Cleveland's going to get it. I mean, why would they draft the quarterback in the third and wait for Shedeur to the fifth? You know, because Shedeur, I've seen
because
Shedeur
they have a horrible fucking GM. That's why.
Well, but I'm just saying.
Now, this might be a little more cussing than most of my audience is accustomed to, but we're about halfway through the video. I do want to point out a few things. Like I said, this NFL GM, Mr. Scott McLaughlin, he says that Shedeur Sanders is in fact he had him graded as a number 1. And on top of that, which I think is a lot more telling and a lot more poignant, is that he says that he's going to be the best quarterback out of this draft. Comparing him to Russell Wilson, interesting, right? It would be interesting. I don't know if you saw, I had a smile on my face just thinking about, like, what if Shedeur throws up the wrist next to the Lombardi? Look, the people are going to be very upset. But I think more importantly, to Pac-Man and Scott's point, like, yeah, you did bring this upon yourself, right? You knew what you were doing. At what point, if he is such a problem, right, why get him at the 5th round? Why bring that upon yourself, right? Why pretend like this is just... I don't know. There's just a lot going on, but I'll let the video.
I'm going to say nose guard, 5th pick overall. Oh, my God. Don't get me started. Go ahead.
Hey, Mason Graham's a baller now.
I'm telling you, I think
Mason Graham's a
Shedeur,
baller. Honestly,
and I've done a lot of quarterbacks in my career, and no one's ever 100% accurate. It's not an exact science. That's why there's so many busts. But I'm telling you, Shedeur, I saw him. I was on the sideline watching the game in person. And he jumped Travis Hunter's, couldn't believe, had his finger in his face. He says, don't you ever throw your arms up in the air like that again. If I miss a throw, I miss a throw. And Travis Hunter bowed down to him. That kind of shows what kind of leadership he has. He has enough respect and enough toughness and competitiveness to do that. And I'm like, wow, this guy is pretty freaking cool. You know, and I get it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go finish. Go ahead, finish. My bad.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, just watch his response. And Pac-Man, you know this. Watch his response every time he came out the field and how he got with the offensive linemen, how he got with the running backs, how he got with the receivers. And he just ran the show. He ran the complete show. And, you know, he's not as athletic as his father, of course. No one really is. But he has the demeanor to be an NFL football player. And I'm telling you, you wait and see. I can't tell you that, but in my opinion, that he will be the best quarterback out of this draft when it's all said and done.
Now, I was trying to find the initial video that he was talking about. It's another video. I have to probably dig through well off media, but this is, you know, kind of going accustomed to that, because I hate that when we got into the weeds of this conversation, like we've taken away so much of what Shedeur actually is, right? We've overblown and maybe underblown him so much that he's either, you know, literally the next coming of Russell Wilson, or he's, you know, the worst quarterback to ever touch a football. What he is a strong leader, right? He's a strong character, a strong person. And I think all the personal attacks is the reason why I'm so passionate about it, because this is a great one. This is against North Dakota State. I already remember. This was against Baylor. I apologize, because, you know, there was that play where he got into his face and literally said, like, hey, you go catch this ball against North Dakota State. That's when he caught that crazy through the thing. This is another time of Travis firsthand talking about Shedeur coming up to him and say, I need that ball. Go get the ball. This is what Travis Hunter had to say.
His coach trusts me a lot. He trusts me a lot to go get the ball. And Shedeur told me to go out there and get the ball once he scored. So I told him, I got you. And I kept my word. I mean, I knew I had to tackle him. You could see me turning my mouthpiece late on the play. So I was already ready. I knew they was coming at me. I don't think I could tackle, so I had to show him.
He said he's already ready. Shedeur had that. But, like, I think it's so interesting that, again, we've gotten so far that we forget that one of the key components of being a quarterback, and one of the best things Shedeur does, is that he's a character guy and a leader too, right? He's not always yelling, but I feel like he yells when he needs to. He's loud when he needs to. He gets in people's face when he needs to. Every single time he's over there with his offensive line, he's talking to his receivers, he's talking with his guys, and he commands a certain level of respect. And it's not just I'm yelling and I'm rowdy and I'm whatever. It's you can see the way he is around Browns in the facility, the smiling, the dapping. Like it's almost like you don't respect that type of player unless you see him bleed in the same way that you do, right? And Shedeur took plenty of hits for him to operate and command those Colorado sidelines the way people are saying. So here we're going to check in with ESPN Cleveland. Again, we're 2 weeks into this thing and people are already like, well, is Shedeur going to start? I mean, this is what the people have to say.
Will Shedeur start a game? Yes or no?
I'll say.
And this is Mr. Grossi. By the way, put a pin in this. This is Mr. Grossi. All y'all in my comments were saying he's a Klein. Tony Grossi says yes to this happening. This is crazy.
Will Shedeur start a game? Yes or no?
I'll say yes, just based on history. The Browns start 9 quarterbacks over the last 2 years.
Chris, will Shedeur start a game? Yes or no?
Yeah, he will.
I'm going to guess
Somewhere.
he probably will too. And I think that the attention, the buzz around the team, will they get flexed into national TV?
Maybe he'll get there around flex time, and based on other games, maybe the network will bow to the Shedeur phenomena and put him out there.
The Shedeur phenomenon, I do think it's quite phenomenal. I really do think. Here is this is Siciliano with his take on the Dillon Gabriel versus Shedeur Sanders situation.
So, I've been asked about 100 times in the last 3 days, which quarterback looked better at Browns rookie minicamp this past weekend? Here's my answer. They both looked great. Is that okay? Both Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders looked really good in 3 days of practice. They both made some really good throws. They both also at times looked like rookies. That's to be expected. But they both looked the part, and better yet, off the field and on the podium, they were both amazing. I mean, two very different guys but both said everything right, carried themselves well, represented the organization well. Check, check, check. So, friends, it's only May. Nothing has to be decided now. What if I told you there is no controversy? They're both pretty good so far.
No, and I do want to have this conversation because I feel like, and clearly I'm a Shedeur guy. Clearly I like that, but I like Dillon Gabriel too. I think he's a baller. I think we need to start looking at the good problem to have, but still a situation if both of these quarterbacks are just really good. Like, that's all I've been hearing is that, what's it called? That they just both look good. Like, if I'm being 100%, transparent with you, as much as I would think that would be dope for have Shedeur to start, it would be better for my YouTube channel. It would be better for the NFL. It would be better for ratings. Dillon Gabriel's a baller. Dillon Gabriel fits the mold of what Kevin Stefanski likes in his quarterbacks. Now, Shedeur Sanders also does some of those things as well, so we're not going to get that twisted, right? And Shedeur Sanders, I think, has a lot and brings a lot, right? But I think when we start talking about that, obviously, I think the next question is trades and this and that. But I think the conversation has been more so about, does Kenny Pickett get traded, right? I know people want Shedeur to get traded, but, I think the Saints are in love with Tyler. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers don't want Shedeur for reasons that are starting to slowly uncover. And we can, let me know if y'all want a video on that. We can get into that. But let's get into this last video from Colin Cowherd. And then I want to talk about a little bit of mini NFL conspiracy here just to end off the video here.
Shedeur is 6'2", historically accurate, and I have seen him standing around normal-sized people. He's big. He's a big 6'2". Mahomes is 6'1.5". Aaron Rodgers, you never think about his size. He's 6'1", big calves, big wrists. 6'3", Matt Stafford. 6'4", Jared Goff. 6'6", Joe Flacco. Eli was 6'5". Peyton was 6'5.5" or whatever he was. Dillon Gabriel is noticeably smaller and thinner than Bo Nix, and Bo Nix is not ideal size in the NFL. He is a very, very small guy. Shedeur Sanders, he's much bigger and much better.
Wow. And Colin Cowherd has had some strong things to say. He had even stronger things to say about, Shedeur's fall and everything. I had to fact check it. Maybe I'm tripping. I swore Patrick Mahomes was like 6'3". I know his brother's like 6'6" for some reason. He don't play a sport. But Patrick, that was the most shocking thing about that. I'm sorry. I kind of checked out the video. I literally searched up Patrick Mahomes' height. I was like, he looks like he's 6'3", like a healthy 6'2". Google says 6'2", but Colin Cowherd says 6'1.5". I never thought Shedeur looked like a big 6'2", but I definitely thought he looked like 6'1" and some change. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he looks like a big 6'1", right? And I think that's more than enough to get the job done, right? Pause. I think I need to pause that some way. So I don't think that. I also don't think we should disrespect Dillon Gabriel. He's a guy that does play above his pads and above his height. That's what a lot of people say when they see him play. And clearly they're both doing great things. But to table that aside, comment down below who you think is going to be starting by week 14. Now, why is week 14 so important, you ask, to this team with 0 primetime games? Because you'll be going against the first-round pick, Cam Ward. And it happens to be, they happen to have the same exact quarterback coach, Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward. So they're linked very closely. Obviously, a lot of offseason training. They were linked, closely. They were linked to be the number 1 and number 2 quarterback taken, obviously, in the draft and the situation there. So is this strategic by the NFL? Now, I don't know if it is, because I don't think they make the schedule right after the draft. Is that how that works? I don't think that's how it is. But I'm not the biggest scheduler and understanding of how it goes, but it does seem a little bit auspicious. I don't think that's the way I should say that. It does seem very interesting that late week you suppose that the Browns having a big regime change, figuring things out. Myles Garrett just got paid to sit there and be Joe Thomas 2.0, except the defensive version. You're not going to win anything, but you're going to start every game. So is that a week 14, like they were talking about? Maybe they flex it. Maybe they get their Cam Ward versus Shedeur matchup. I don't know. I don't know who's going to be starting. I actually saw this from a TikTok. So someone on TikTok had this theory. So shout out to them because I thought hey, that might just clock. That might just, you know what I'm saying? That might just add up into the right particulars. I do want to remind everybody this because I didn't even know this. I thought the Johnny Unitas Award, when I did my research, was just about the most outstanding quarterback. I want to remind y'all, and I'm planting seeds for other videos. Y'all know how I do, because I like to, you know what I'm saying? I like to check the receipts. Just so y'all know, the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award, the annual award that Shedeur Sanders won after finishing a year and being the #1 overall completion percentage at FBS, it's given to the top college football upperclassman quarterback in the United States, right? That's what I read. Established in 1987. The award recognizes players who demonstrate outstanding performance on the field as well as character, citizenship, and leadership and scholastic achievement. The award is presented by, of course, Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Educational Fund, A.O. Smith Corporation. Look, I don't know if Shedeur Sanders is going to start. You can call me a Shedeur Sanders Glazer all you want. Okay? But I'm here just presenting the facts to you. You can still come away with this not like Shedeur. You can come with this like Dillon Gabriel. I like Dillon Gabriel. I think he's a baller. I think that if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, this is a pretty good situation to be in. This is not like the Johnny Manziel situation where you have one overinflated, very expensive quarterback with a lot of expectations. You have two quarterbacks in a decently healthy competition with a whole slew of other quarterbacks, a great defensive core right now, and we'll see. Obviously, the Jock news is terrible, so shout out to your outstanding linebacker, JOK. I know there's a full name. I don't want to butcher his name, disrespect his family, but Jock, the Joker, #6 there for the linebacker. He's a dynamic off-the-ball linebacker that really added a whole new element to that Browns defense, so that's going to be tough. Now, the kid, if y'all want to, you know what I'm saying, my Browns fan, if y'all want a breakdown of the defensive player you got, Mr. Schweringer, is that how you say his name? Out of UCLA. I don't often describe off-ball linebackers as rangy, but I would describe him as rangy. I think he's got a decent size to him and a decent speed. So you got to hope that he's ready to ball and ready to plug in a, what was he, an all-pro level player? So we'll see what the Browns have. But for right now, when it comes to Shedeur, a lot of people are saying that he's going to be starting. I think he'll be starting by week 14. But I think I agree with Grossi, where I think it's just going to get so crazy at some point. They're going to get they have to give Shedeur a chance, right? As long as he stays on and he doesn't get traded, you know what I'm saying? And they still looking good. I think it'll be a great opportunity. But hey, y'all let me know what y'all feel down below in the comments. I really appreciate y'all watching these videos and supporting. Like this video if you do like it. Dislike if you don't like it. Subscribe if you enjoy football content of all shapes, sizes, and shapes. Did I tell you to comment type of content you want to see? If you're tired of seeing Sanders videos, how about leave a suggestion, son? I do suggestions. I got a suggestion box. It's called the comment box. You continue to be great because we know you're great. You knew that. We knew that. We see you next time.